right now, we're looking at India's census that will happen in 2027. Will now view live-in couples as married couples, and that's how they will be counted. India's next census, in fact, as we've seen all these years, married couples, live-in relationships were not really counted. But now, India's new census may do something no previous census has done before. It may officially count modern relationships the way people are actually living them. In a significant and socially consequential shift here, the upcoming 16th Indian census will now allow stable union live-in couples to be recorded as married, not a court order needed, not a certificate needed, just self-declaration is enough. Big step forward. The key phrase here is stable union. That's what they're looking at. If you have been living together for long, then you're going to be considered as a married couple. According to updated FAQs on the government's self-enumeration system, if two adults are living together and consider their relationship as stable, then they can identify themselves as a married couple during the census exercise. They don't need to register a marriage, they don't need any wedding proof, they don't need legal documents, they just have to define their household. The portal has been opened for people opting for self-enumeration during the census. It will be available for both phases of the census, house listing and housing census, the HLO, and population enumeration. And if individuals living together identify their relationship as stable, enumerators are instructed to record them as a married couple now. That may sound, of course, at this point, very technical and administrative, but make no mistake, this is socially and politically very significant because for decades, the Indian census has largely reflected a country structured around conventional family categories like husband, wife, children, joint family. But in India, 2026, urban migration, delayed marriage, rising cohabitation, single-person households, and non-traditional domestic arrangements are all now changing the Indian home, the definition of a home. And now, for the first time, the state appears ready to count that reality, even if it is not formally sanctified. The government's position, at least in census terms, is straightforward, that the objective is enumeration, not moral policing here. We just need to know if you're a stable couple, and then we'll record you as married. In a household, if a household exists, if two people exist, they are sharing a home as partners, and if they describe themselves as a stable unit, then the census wants to record that household as it exists on the ground. This rule will apply both to online self-enumeration and to door-to-door field verification by enumerators. Officials have also said enumerators will verify self-entered data before final submission. And that matters because the census is not just a population headcount, it is a foundation of state knowledge. It influences how governments understand housing patterns, family structures, welfare design, urban stress, migration, social change. So this is not just merely about one column on the form. It's about whether the Indian state is beginning, even cautiously, even statistically, to now acknowledge that family in India is changing. The first phase of Census 2027 begins from April 1st, 2026 in most parts of the country. The exercise will also be India's first fully digital census using mobile applications, digital tools, and a self-enumeration portal. And that's why this development is very big, because once the state changes how it counts people, it slowly changes how it sees people. Will this census recognition give live-in couples legal rights? Absolutely not. The law is not changing in any way. Will it alter marriage law? Definitely not. Will it trigger political debate? Absolutely yes. And that's perhaps the story here. India may not be rewriting marriage yet, but it is beginning to rewrite how it records intimacy, how it records partnership and family. And that's not a small shift here. We also have Sanjay Chadda, advocate of the Supreme Court, joining us for a little more in detail on what this really means. Advocate Sanjay, take us through a little on what this Census 2027, factoring in live-in couples as married couples, really do in the larger context. How does it make it? First of all, it makes it so much more easier. And you know, it's important for every citizen to feel counted. if I was in a live-in relationship and I couldn't register myself in the forms and not really show that I'm also a citizen, my family set up, I'm living somewhere else, I'm living with my partner here, but my family is somewhere else, I'm not able to unite with them, therefore I won't be counted. All those uncertainties now come to an end. If you're living in with a partner, you're definitely going to be counted in the census. First of all, tell us how important is the census and what does this signify?
Well, very rightly you have said that it is a significant move, but I don't find it, as if something new coming in our way. Legally speaking, now Indian courts have recognized live-in partnership.
Yeah.
People who are living together, two pair, if they are living together, and even stability is not required there, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Here, stability is required. Now, Article 21 gives this a strength, make it more strength. Number one, gives it strength. Number one. Number two, which is very crucial, is even in the Domestic Violence Act, Supreme Court has stated very categorically, if there is a couple living together, they are in living relationship, though they are not married, it will be taken as if they are, it will be considered as if they are the married couple. The similar proposition connotation goes for the children. They are treated from the children coming out of this lock will be treated as they are the legitimate child.
Yeah.
They have all inheritance rights.
Yeah.
So the legal proposition is there. We are moving towards it, and this is another step in that particular direction.
So you just said that. Can you explain to us a live-in relationship? The woman has the right to protection, has the right to even being granted some amount of money as
Yes.
maintenance. Is that true?
Very true. Very true. You have rightly said that woman who is living in a live-in relationship has all rights as of a married woman. So, meaning thereby, as you have rightly said, she has right of maintenance. She has right, the children coming
Inheritance
out
rights,
of this
maintenance, yeah, protection.
Exactly. And such relationship is taken akin to what a married relationship is. So that is what is the legal proposition. Now, as we have seen, this census is having after so many years. We have left, not happened in 2011 and 2021. Two censuses we have left. It has not happened. So, and this development has taken place in 2007, last 2 decades only. So I think this was the need of the hour, number one, because the legal proposition is there. The law says that if the two people are living together, they have got the legal protection. The live-in relationship has the legal protection by virtue of various judgment of Supreme Court, High Court, and now it is a settled law. Anybody who is live-in can claim for whatever we discussed.
Right. Okay. Rekha Agarwal, a quick one. It seems like we're having a problem with your connection, Rekha.
Yeah, anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Rekha, a quick word as I'm short on time. Do you think this is a move forward? Our co-advocate here on the panel says it's nothing new.
I absolutely agree with what Mr. Chadda said, because as far as live-in relationships, it's very clear that legally it is not a marriage. The only protection that particularly the girls have in such a live-in relationship is that, the live-in partner cannot just discard them like a tissue paper and say that, I've got nothing to do with you. So I think that under the Domestic Violence Act, which was, enacted in the year 2005, particularly took note of people who are living in a continuous relationship akin to a marriage. And that is why the live-in relationship is given some kind of a legitimacy, some kind of a semblance of legitimacy under the law, under the DV Act. So I think that if such kind of legal live-in relationships are not considered marriage, because the live-in partner, particularly the female, she does not get any right of inheritance. And she will still be, as far as the other legal laws of marriage are concerned, this remain intact regarding divorce, regarding, custody of children, all those things remain. So even if a child is born out of a live-in relationship, then the couple will may probably have to go through another battle regarding custody. And if one of the partner dies, then regarding inheritance. So only thing that the live-in partners, particularly the female partners who protected, were in the year 2005 by the Domestic Violence Act. I do not see what purpose that this census is going to obtain except to show that the changing social realities of India. But be that as it may, as far as the laws are concerned, they remain intact. Both the partners do not have any other obligation towards each other, as and they will be governed by the marriage laws, whether it's the Indian divorce law, whether it's the Hindu Marriage Act, or any other act under which a marriage, legal marriage, can take place. So a live-in relationship does not require to be registered also. Only that the couple has to prove it, or rather cite in such a cases that we are living in a stable relationship. Now, what is a stable and what is an unstable relationship? Again, it is a very subjective thing. But if a particular couple who is living in a live-in relationship chooses to call their relationship as stable, then the census will probably just record his act,
Yeah.
take it
Yeah.
in its own word and say that, okay, it's a live-in relationship. But besides that, no other purpose is going to be served.
Okay. But at least it's a talking point. I think India has become a lot more broad-minded, accepting different forms of a family life or different forms of a household. We're no more conservative. That's what I see. So that's that. Sanjay?
Yeah, but that's true. But one thing I feel, the prime objective of census is, in futuristically, the government will make its policies after that. What is the number of people who are
Right.
living in, so
That
all
very
that
well said.
data
Yeah,
comes.
absolutely. This is basically just preparing the government, or it's knowledge. That's what I said. It's government knowledge where we understand what the family structure is like, and growing numbers of live-in, how many couples are live-in, how many couples are actually married. So at least we get a
Exactly
true sense of what India is, where we are headed,
where we are
and
heading.
policies henceforth could be designed accordingly. But thank you very much, both of you, for joining us on that.